Good morning, Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing another video to you on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know. And I want to talk about a few things in this video, starting with the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, freedom of speech. And I want to mention another thing about the Constitution itself that I have mentioned before in other videos. That is, the rights outlined in the Constitution are not created by the Constitution. They are reflected by the Constitution. That is to say, they exist objectively as inalienable rights. You might have heard that word before. Inalienable means they cannot be taken from you, even by destroying the document itself. These rights that have been described on this piece of paper exist regardless of the paper, the infrastructure, anyone trying to uphold them or representing them, repeating them. They have been discovered, if you will, by the authors of that document as pertaining to a workable system, a workable civilized system where people have the right to speak freely, as such an important detail that it became the very first and most famous amendment to the U.S. Constitution. You may have also heard this: I may not agree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. I could not stand for anything more honorable and proper than the right to communicate with your fellow people, with your neighbors, with your loved ones, with whomever. And I think, as an aside but connected, information in general is only a threat to people who have something untoward to hide. That is, people who have committed crimes after a fashion and wish for those crimes to remain hidden. There's something called privacy, but there's also something called creating an atmosphere of oppression, censorship, and fear where people are intimidated to the point where they do not question things anymore, where they do not dig in and find out what's really going on that affects them and their neighbors and their loved ones. And that's kind of what we're at right now. It's been described in countless novels. It's been predicted by the American founding fathers themselves and aimed at prevention with these documents, such as the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. I have today, at 3 minutes into this video, received my first threat in response to speaking in these videos. Whether or not it is a credible threat isn't the point. Whether or not I have views on my YouTube channel isn't the point. Apparently my videos are being seen somehow, and I'm going on record here choosing a side, so to speak, in favor of freedom of speech. I'm going to say it again. I may not agree with what you say. I may not like your ideas. They may not reflect me as a person, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. It is only through diplomacy and debate that we can arrive at agreements that mutually benefit everybody. It is not for a single authoritarian to decide whom shall extend them and what purposes that they can represent within the context of that person's purpose. Okay? I have my own plan. I have my own ideas, my own values. They do not need to hinge on what's important to anyone else. And the only way I can defend that is with freedom of speech. It is that important. It is worth dying for if necessary. I encourage anyone to choose a side if you must at this point, because we are at the crossroads. I have just witnessed the crossroads myself today. My first threat. It's a red letter day, and I am proud. If you agree with this, or if you disagree with this, if you have anything to say whatsoever, reach out with questions or comments to whitehotrobot@gmail.com. Thank you.